Good evening and welcome to another edition of Hgp Sport for today, Tuesday, September 23. I am Jaden Samuels. Thanks for joining us. Residents of Santa Aratak Amerindian Reservation are calling for support from the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport to enhance sports in the area, especially cricket. This comes after Leon Johnson, who hails from the mission, made his Test debut against Bangladesh in the just concluded Tour of the Caribbean. Details in this report. After a cricketer who hails from the only Amerindian settlement in Region 3, Santa Aratak Mission, played his first test for the West Indies, a move is going to be made shortly to have the sport revamped in the community. Cricket in the area and by extension sports in the area was run without any support from the ministry except from broken promises on an annual basis. Speaking at the weekend to the Two Show, Aubrey Samuels, he said the community has always produced talented athletes, but there is only so much that the little available resources can do. Asked whether representations were made at the ministry's level, Samuel said that was done, but so far nothing happened except for donations which were made by private individuals. There is also a need for sports equipment in the primary and nursery schools. To date, there are several cricketers who hailed from Santa Mission who are playing for clubs in Georgetown and clubs overseas. More cricket news. Regional Business Executive and Director of the West Indies Cricket Board, Don Webby, says the professionalization of first-class cricket in the West Indies will revolutionize the game in the region. The WICB is about to roll out a full professional first-class franchise system in which a cadre of 90 players will engage in a professional cricket structure on a day-to-day basis, year-round. Here are the details. This professional structure and environment are geared towards and certainly will revolutionize cricket in the region and contribute significantly to the repositioning of West Indies team in the upper echelons of international cricket. This is according to Webby, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaican headquartered multinational company Grace Kennedy Limited. The WICB has committed to partner with the 6 territorial boards to fund 6 first-class franchises in the region that will compete in the annual regional first class and Super 50 tournaments. Each franchise will retain 15 players who will work as a unit on a day-to-day basis in each territory under a head coach and support staff. The 6 franchises will be based in Barbados, Guyana, Jamaica, Leeward Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Windward Islands. This initiative is projected to significantly lend to the improvement of performance of the West Indies team on the international stage, as a large cadre of players will now be engaged on a day-to-day basis in working as professional cricketers. It is the first time this will be happening in the region, added Webby. Equally important is that the profile of regional first-class cricket will be raised with the overall standards being lifted, increased competitiveness, and the party among teams like to be much closer, Webby concluded. Webby was appointed Grace Kennedy Group CEO in 2011 and the West Indies Cricket Board Director in 2013. Football news. A former GFF president has called on the administrators of football to find common ground for the benefit of the game in Guyana. Details in this report.
Executive disagreements at the GFF in recent months have led to little or no benefits to the game of football in Guyana, as the current rift continues. However, the GFF president is adamant that the game must be first and foremost if one claims to have great interest in promoting the sport.
Dictators do not look to have a next successor. My role is to structure, systemize, and seek out the next successor to run Guyana's football. And some folk are not happy with that. Some folk came expecting that we were going to continue to use FIFA's monies for their benefits and their benefits alone. Just a couple of weeks ago, at one of our meetings with members of the Congress, I would have asked for the members of the Congress, and this was before the reconvened Congress, to submit to the GFF proposal how the bonus money should be spent. To this date, we've received none. These are the men interested in football. In fact, one good-spirited citizen asked the question, if all of you are interested in football development, that is your objective, why can there not be a meeting of the heads? Why can there not be a meeting of the mind? Why would there be a walkout? In fact, if we come to a room and the objective is football development, and we're all passionate about it, then all of us would do our very best to ensure that none of us walk out until we come to achieving the objective.
Former GFF President and Sports Administrator John Yates supports the call for common grounds by all stakeholders, since one can demonstrate commitment to the game by finding an agreeable solution.
I think that people need to sit down around the table and speak about the issues, look at the bigger picture, stop being personal, all right, and look at the large cadre of people who depend on playing soccer and serve them. Okay, it's important that that is done. They do this as early as possible. I think it's very crucial. It's very crucial.
Yates noted too that the GFF is in keeping with the mandate of FIFA to organize football matters off the field and to be effective on the field of play, a point made by GFF President Christopher Matthias.
The entire member association has got to be structured, and the member association consists of clubs as well as players. We have identified several basic things for you to be a club, for you to be considered a club. FIFA is on the ball with it. We talk about players' profile. By 2015, we have to have a database with every player having his or her own registration number submitted to both CONCACAF as well as FIFA.
The Georgetown Football Association, the Barbies, the Linden, the Bartica, they are responsible for promoting soccer in their territories, okay? The GFF is as an overall to look at what they're doing, to look at the national sport and to make sure that the rules of CONCACAF, FIFA, etc. are a thing and is not in. So they're different rules.
FIFA's primary objective is to improve the game of football constantly and promote it globally in the light of its unifying, educational, cultural, and humanitarian values, particularly through youth and development programs. For Hgp Sports, Sean Imbrak.
And internationally, Oscar Pistorius is unlikely to be welcomed at future Diamond League events, a promoter of the series says. Details in this report. Oscar Pistorius is unlikely to welcome a future Diamond League events, a promoter on the series says. Pistorius was found guilty of culpable homicide after a judge ruled he killed his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, by mistake. The 27-year-old faces up to 15 years in jail, although the judge could suspend the sentence or only impose a fine, allowing him to compete again. Asked if he would invite Pistorius, Brussels Diamond League chief Wilred Merritt said, "I don't think so, no." The International Paralympic Committee has already stated that the South African will be allowed to compete at the 2016 Paralympics Games if he's not in jail. Pistorius made history by becoming the first amputee sprinter to compete at the Olympics when he took part in the 400-meter at London in 2012. That concludes our cast for this evening. Do remember to join us tomorrow for another edition of Hgp Sport. I'm Jaden Samuels saying good night.